So once again, my name's Andrew Weaver. I have two sons at Brooklands. So I wanted to talk about transparency a little bit, and again, more wasted money, but I'm going to take a step back. We're going to talk about teacher appreciation. As I've made it known, I am married to a great teacher. I have immense respect for teachers. What we have just heard is how about we save the cookies, save all the nice videos. If you really respected teachers, there would have been a plan for instruction for quarantine students. It would not have been every parent having to call them and deal with it one-on-one. That is what you do if you respect teachers. Yes, teachers worked extremely hard this year because leadership failed them. We will continue to do what this board has done and what we're seeing in our society. We want to lump all teachers together. They are not all the same. There are some really good teachers and there are some really bad teachers. There are teachers that in unions that absolutely use this event to harm our students for their political gains. We heard it from Doug Hill himself. The things that have been fought over for 10 years, all of a sudden were being worked on. If you respected teachers, you would actually be listening to the good ones and giving them the tools and resources. You would not have spent the last work session giving a spin on how Caring Steps is not taking money away from students. You would have shown how you're getting that money back into the classroom. You would not go on and say, we do not have resources and try to sell that and lie to the community, as we heard a board member do. That is how you show respect to teachers. That is how you show leadership. That is not what we have seen from anybody in this room. So again, you want to come up here, and again, actually, I'm going to take another step back. We heard the superintendent tell us a story early on about his aunt. I can't remember her name. We'll call her Aunt Jenny, and how actions speak louder than words. And we've heard all the nice words, and we heard all the grace and gratitude and all those things, but the actions don't match it. The teachers weren't given a plan. The teachers weren't given resources, and yet we were told we didn't have them. We built a virtual campus from the ground up. We had resources. We wasted them. We absolutely did not do what was right by our community. And we continue to then say what we can't do and how we're going to do things differently. So yes, actions speak louder than words. And the actions is we failed. And we continue to fail. But yet we'll spend a whole work session spinning. And how much did we spend on the PR firm to do that? How much did we spend to have that PR firm come here? So again, we spent over $500,000 on them, right?
That's time, Mr.
We
Weaver.
continue to spend and waste money, and yet we're going to act like we support teachers.
Time's up.
Not a single one of you actually support the good teachers.
Andrew, time
You
is
support
up.
a political agenda that wants to harm our students.
Andrew, please sit down. Time's up.
Really? Really?
Time's up. Time's up, Andrew. You need to put your mask on, please. Andrew Weaver.
All right. So 332. 332. That's the number of days it's been since there's been the last survey. And that survey wasn't very good to begin with. It was not of everyone. It was a phone survey. And we've gone 332 days. The superintendent said in December that that's not a good time to do surveys, but we'll do one. Results will come out in February. Last time I checked, it's May. Actions speak louder than words. So again, you probably don't ask questions you don't want to hear the answers to. You've all sat up here and said you have the support of the community. Pretty sure you're starting to learn you don't have the support of the community. The community does not support this idea that we make words up and we just define things however we want. The truth is words have meaning.
Please put your mask on.
District employee was allowed to take it out. I'm going to take
Please
mine down.
put your mask on.
A district
You are
employee
in
was
a
allowed to take
public
theirs down.
forum. Put your
A
mask
district
on.
employee was allowed to take theirs down.
Mr. Weaver, please Please put your mask on.
Really?
I'm going to call for a recess. I'm going to
Go
call
ahead.
for a recess.
Go ahead.
I'd like to take a motion for a recess.
Motion.
Moved by Barb, seconded by Kevin. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Shaner, hey, district employees are allowed to take theirs down. Why can't I when I speak?
Okay, I'll take theirs down to talk.
I'm going to call for an adjournment.
Of course you are.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Yeah.
People here to speak respectfully.
They don't care what anyone has to say.
But
You're not gonna let the other parents speak? Unbelievable.
If you don't see it now, they're going to see it later. It's going to be on YouTube. And Detroit News.
If people weren't kind of respectful to them, then this would not be happening. They would let this speak. So if one person is disrespectful, we all have to pay for it? Unfortunately. No, we don't. You can take that one person out and other people can talk. That's unbelievable. You obviously don't care what parents think.
you got a date, Shaner?
You're the expert.
I tried to keep it on. It was falling down, so I took it down to speak.
Unbelievable.
The elitist attitude is over.
I'll say my speech right now if anybody wants to hear it.
Absolutely. Call our own BOE. See you later.
Good evening. My name is Kristen Kennedy and I live in the district. My children no longer go to school in the district. I sent them to private school this year. I was going to comment on other things this evening before I came here, but the last minute I received the latest article in the Detroit News and I'd like to share it with everybody. I think it's embarrassing and shameful that this is even happening in the district, but the title is Rochester School Parent Sues, Alleges District Got Her Fired for Speaking Out. A parent in Rochester Community Schools has filed a federal lawsuit against the school district alleging its board president called her employer and got her fired for advocating.
I
on
would ask
social
you to
media.
please direct your comments at the entire board and not at one member of the board specifically.
I'm reading an article.
I'm asking you to
I'm not-
please do
it's
that.
It's just stating the facts. I'm not directing at anybody. I'm reading something. For advocating on social media for schools to reopen amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Elena DeVerno filed a civil lawsuit Monday in the U.S. District Court in Detroit against the Oakland County District Board President and Superintendent, alleging they unlawfully restricted her free speech. She has 2 children in the school district, which began the school year remotely last fall. In the lawsuit, she describes herself as a vocal and effective advocate for her position, who frequently question and criticize the decisions of the board through posts and comments in 2 Facebook groups. RCS Parents for In-Person Education and Conservative Parents for Rochester. DeVerno says in the lawsuit that in a post on one of her Facebook group pages, she asked for video testimonials from parents and students expressing the hardships they've endured without the availability of in-person school. The suit alleges that in the fall, a member of the board contacted her employer, Blake's Hard Cider Company in Armada, where she had worked as marketing director since 2009, and falsely claimed that DeVerno was participating in a group launching threats against the school. She alleges she later learned that the board member, who works for the director of content at Crane's Detroit Business, she was later fired. I just want to know, like, the fact that this even is a lawsuit, that someone did this, like, they don't just make things up out of nowhere. This is so shameful. Does this make you guys proud to serve and do this? When did the breakdown of communication come within the community that we get cease and desist letters for expressing how we feel? What will it take so we can work together and we can be heard and we can hear what you guys have to say? This is not good, what's happening here. And I just have to say, we're going to be here advocating,
Time's up.
but I'm afraid vouchers are what people are going to start advocating for next if we aren't heard.